What is up, everybody? So let me tell you a little bit about what we're getting ready to do right now in the West Coast River Outlaws shop. My buddy, who I ran into named Danny in Oklahoma over the Jet Boat Rendezvous event a couple months ago, hit me up and said, dude, I want you to look at this rub rail. It's the original factory rub rail from Rex Marine that was anodized blue, and it's not blue anymore. In addition to that, there's a handful of scratches on it, a couple dings, nicks. It's an older boat, so obviously, naturally, that's gonna happen. So today, he brought it down all the way from Oklahoma, and we're gonna turn and burn this puppy, pull the old rub rail off. We got a brand new blue anodized rub rail from Rex Marine with the rubber insert, and we're gonna go to town and hopefully make this thing look night and day different. Check this thing out though, it's pretty badass. So you can see the rub rails faded, right? These were originally anodized blue, and you can actually see some scuffs and then some areas that don't look too happy. But we're gonna take care of that. Like I said, we were able to order a rub rail from Rex Marine in Southern California, and he still makes the same rub rail that was originally put on this boat. So what's the first thing we got to do? Well, there's a rubber insert inside. That's the actual bumper that we need to pull away from the rub rail. It's channeled, so it kind of pushes in there and presses in. Once that comes off, then we need to take a drill and we need to drill out the original rivets that hold the actual rub rail on, the metal casing, if you will. Once all that comes off, it's literally reverse order. The new rub rail is a blue anodized, which looks beautiful. You guys will see it here in just a minute. And you gotta be very careful, but we're gonna get this puppy on. So first step, let's pull the rubber insert out. And there she is. So you can see the rivets now that are in this puppy. Can you see it? Yeah. There's rivets in here that need to come out. So now we're basically gonna do the same thing that you saw we did at the very beginning. We need to drill each one of these out. Only 487 rivets more to go. So you can see the rub rail's pretty old, and it's just on the inside you can actually see where it was originally blue and how it faded over time, you know. Danny, what year is this boat?
94.
Yeah, 1994. I am 1 year older than this thing. She's 32 years old and doesn't look a day older than 5 years old, honestly. We won't talk about it. Yeah. But anyways, check out the new rub rail. It's sick. Man, I can't wait to get this thing on there. It's gonna look amazing once it's on there, bent right, sitting straight and good to go. So now, as you can see, what everybody's doing is basically drilling through and getting rid of the old rivets. You can't leave the existing body in the hull of the boat because it'll get in the way of the rub rail. So we're drilling those out, and then we're gonna start finding our pieces and putting them on, starting at the bow. All right, there is our rub rail and our insert. So we're using a 3/16 pop rivet, aluminum, and I think we went with 3/4 inch. So what we have to do is we got to take each one of these pre-drilled holes, and we have to drill carefully each one out so that the pop rivet will actually fit in. That's step number one. So during the shipping process, it looks like these got a little banged up at the very ends. So before we can get them installed, we're gonna need to go ahead and cut that off. We can't have that on a boat, especially with a brand new rub rail. So we're gonna mark an inch and take an inch off of each one of these, and we should be okay. There should still be plenty of rub rail to go all the way around the boat and still look nice. One added step, but that's all right. We're gonna take care of it right now. All right, we're gonna do a test cut on this one here. You can see my tape line, that's 1 inch, and it gets rid of all the gouges and all the little stuff. So we're gonna hold it at that end, and I'm gonna do a cut real shallow and see what it looks like to begin with. Don't touch that.
Yeah.
She gonna be spicy. So that's gonna work. We're gonna put an angle this way on it just slightly so that the fronts butt together and everything looks like it matches really well. But we did a test pass just to make sure that the anodizing stays on and that we don't have any issues with the cutoff wheel causing any major damage. That's gonna work because then we can massage it and keep it clean and straighten it up. Okay, here goes nothing. So I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this, but what I'm doing, we've already cut it and we're doing a finesse and making it dead straight. And when you use the death wheel to cut off the excess of your rub rail, given that this is anodized, powder coat would be the same thing, but it leaves little marks on it and we don't want those on the boat. So we're trying to shave off just a little bit, enough to get that off and make it look real nice. So the key here is to just take your time, right? I'm not putting a bunch of pressure on it, and I'm also not putting this at high speed either because I don't want this to grab and catch and nick, and then you got to do more massaging. But that's just how it goes. Sometimes things come in and need a little bit of massaging and a little bit of work, and that's what we're gonna do. This has to be perfect for the most perfect 33-year-old Ultra 21. Dude, it already looks better. Look at how shiny that is. So you can see it's pretty simple, right? I mean, there is a lot of massaging that's gonna have to happen, especially with something that's anodized and soft like aluminum. It's gonna get messed up a little bit during shipping, but that's okay. You just take your time and do it right. And as you can see, you start at the center, right at the front, so that everything on the way down on the left and the right side of the boat have even spacing when it comes to the gaps, right? There's not gonna be any gaps, but where the rub rail stops and you add the next piece, on both sides, it's symmetrical. So I got to get back to the bench because they're waiting on me to get more rub rails ready. That is pretty much perfect. Right next to a hole, so we'll go here. So if you look close, you guys can't see it on the camera, but there is a prior hole behind the factory hole on this rub rail. So if we drilled it, it would make that hole go bigger, or the drill bit would go in and start doing this. And that's gonna cause problems with the rivet sealing properly. So we're gonna go right next to it. Start a new hole. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll cut directly onto this, and then we can massage this side. Does that hold it there though? Right on it is dead center. Fuck, really? All right, so you guys saw the grinder jump, and I think part of the reason why is because we were holding it and bending it too tight, when we were cutting it, and that's what made the disc jump out and nick one side. But actually, I think this might be a blessing in disguise, because over here, there is quite a few scratches and gouges in this blue anodize, and we have extra pieces. So what we're gonna do, because it's gonna still look really clean and symmetrical, is take one of these longer pieces that we have, and we're going to scab in right here. And it's gonna actually look really clean, and it's gonna eliminate those scratches and also eliminate that booger. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We cleaned up and trimmed out this new piece, and it's essentially 50 inches. So what we did was we split this in half between the grab handles, because the grab handles are center. And you can see our tape line here on exactly where it's gonna butt up and cut. It matches identically on this side as well. We've measured it like 4 different ways, including measuring the outside of the hole, and we're spot on. That also gets rid of the little itty bitty scratches from shipping. So to tell you the truth, this is actually the better way to do it. So like I said, it's probably a blessing in disguise that we actually nicked it a little bit, because it's gonna look more perfect now with this centerpiece. So we're gonna put the rag down in between the rub rail. We're gonna cut that and finesse this piece to match that piece. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this side, measure, mark, cut, finesse, and then lay this puppy to bed. After that, it's pretty much as simple as putting in the rub rail, and we're good to go. So we're gonna pull it away just a little bit more. We may even be able to stick something in between there, like the paint sticks. Yeah. And then I'm gonna get in there with the flapper disc on the air grinder and just finesse it just a little bit. We're not trying to take off any material. All we're trying to do is clean it up and make sure that it is dead straight. It is pretty damn straight. I don't think I'm gonna need to do a whole lot. Let's try that. Show me the money. So now what we could do, what did we say, 50 inches I think is what we said? So now what we'll do is we'll take a tape and put it right at the butt of that and come in this way, and we'll be able to make a mark on this side to essentially 50 inches, which is how long our new piece is. Right there. There's no gaps, and it's touching almost damn near perfect on both corners, and it's symmetrical. So we're gonna remove this, and we're gonna start on the left side, or the port side, and start nailing or riveting that side and work our way this way. All right, here we go. Man, a couple hours later and the actual rub rail is on. This one we had to be extra careful because it's blue anodized, and you can really mess that shit up if you're not careful. Ask me how I know. Anyways, this is home stretch. So the last thing that we've got to do is actually put the bumper or the rubber inside of the channel of the rub rail. And couple tips and tricks. Obviously, you want the seam to be kind of center, so we're going to put it right in the center back here and run it all the way around. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver or some kind of wedge that's plastic that's going to help keep it pushed in there where it needs to go. You don't necessarily want to stretch it super far to get it into that channel, because once it heats up in the water while you're out in the sun for 8-10 hours, it's going to shrink, and then it's not going to fit right. So you really want to put it in there without stretching it. You can, however, put it in the sun or the daylight, especially on a hot Texas day like today, and it will become a lot more soft and malleable. So that's kind of what we did while we were putting the rub rail on, and that's where we're headed. So we're gonna put this in right now. roll it out so we can get some good looks at it. Well, that was a relatively simple but over-explained way on how to replace your rub rail. To be completely honest with you, if you were to just get a traditional rub rail that didn't have an anodization on it, and you had a rivet gun, a drill, and the right drill bits and rivets, you could actually install this yourself at your house with a little bit of finesse. So make sure to like and subscribe. If you've got jobs that you want help on, give us a holler. We can definitely help you out. I'm out. Peace.